Hi, can you confirm your name for me, please?
My name is Bill Harte.
Bill, can you confirm you're happy for me to send this, what will be a web link over to my client for IP comms consultants type role?
Yes, I'm happy, yes.
Okay, Bill, if you could just start off as a, let me say, a starter for 10 and give me a bit of a breakdown as to what you've been doing in your professional life and just try and bend it towards the merit of the job description that you've seen.
I'm basically a telecoms engineer, and recently I've worked with the technical skills I've developed over the years. I've worked coordinating and developing projects to fruition from birth to grave.
Mm-hmm.
And lately it's been mostly in the voice over IP and IP sector. You've mentioned here about servers, domain name servers, of which extensively I've worked with Juniper's equipment.
Uh-huh.
You have two points here about experience in voice and data topology, resilience, bandwidth, and I put down this, done a lot of work with load balancing.
Uh-huh.
I've done a fair bit of work with Cisco. You can't go into an IP domain and not do any work on Cisco products,
Okay.
routers and switches. And one of the things Cisco have developed in the last, I think, about 2 years is what you mentioned here, COTS. It's customer-owned tools. A lot of people want their own management systems and develop them to their bespoke business, whatever environment they have.
Okay, just tell me a little bit about the sort of companies you've been working with at the moment, then, just to, as an overview of, you know.
Recently, Nortel I've been working with Nortel most of my career. Recently, they in the last 5 to 8 years, they've come up with this group of consultants, which I was part of, called managed services, where we would go to various customer sites and put on-site support skills in order to have a project either start, to talk with IT managers to see where our equipment fits into the network.
Uh-huh.
If there's installation of Nortel done that's gone wrong, we would go in, assess the problem, come up with a business case to fix the problems and get them operational. And another instance would be an already working environment to set up a maintenance program, to do software upgrades, to have a quick turnaround of resolution of faults,
Uh-huh.
and to document the network so that when they hand it over to somebody else or their customers, they have a base to either sell or to tell new employees or educate new employees on how to do the work.
Okay. What I'll do now is, obviously I'm not an IP comms consultant, so I'm going to kind of read straight from the job description some of the acronyms on there. So I'll just start off, basically radio servers, DNS, web proxies and firewalls as an essential skill. So
principally I've worked with Juniper, and Nortel have other DNS servers that fit into this description.
okay, let's see, obviously I can see from your CV you've got experience of Cisco and IP data networks, so happy with that. Routing protocols, specifically OSPF, BGP and redundancy protocols such as HSRP.
HSRP comes to mind, and then a geo-redundant architecture where we've had 2 systems in 2 different locations, and hot standby to switch from one to the other. OSPF is the shortest, open shortest route to send a packet through the network, and border gateway protocol. I've worked with them since in the telephony protocols, all the way to the IP protocols. Early telephony being the mid-80s till the IP protocols now. So
okay.
About 20 years.
Okay, and what's your knowledge of SNMP?
This is a simple network protocol, And based on my previous experience with protocols, it's just a IP protocol to handle packets in a IP backbone.
Okay, so with regards to all that, how many years experience would you say you sort of have overall, I would suggest?
Nortel started into voice over IP, and that's where I come in from a TDM world to an IP world in 1999, so it's around then.
So we're looking at what,
10 years.
10 years, okay, that's good. For some of the desirables we talked about prior to this was Linux, Open NMS, Nagos and XenOSS, and when I obviously mentioned XenOSS, you're, so...
Yeah, this is heavily used here in the UK.
Right, I see.
And Linux is an offshoot of was an open source of Unix.
Right, okay.
And which I've done work with since university, so it's more than 25 years experience in that.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good. And obviously, down as a desirable, it's got knowledge of mainstream network system products, especially Cisco and Nortel. So, it necessarily ticks that box quite heavily with your Nortel experience. What about sort of secure satellite communications and 3G networks? What's your experience with that?
Well, the 3G mobile networks. Work with the likes of Vodafone and O2, and in places like Germany, UK. Work with a company called Partner in Israel, which are Orange. Orange, and I've done a lot of interconnect testing, a lot of work with CDMA and HLR.
Okay. Obviously, we can tell from your accent that it's not standard British accent. I think we talked about the fact that you're initially from Canada, but you're now a British citizen, yes? Correct?
Yes, correct.
And the idea about obtaining a security clearance, you've already got one, I believe?
Yes.
Right, okay, so that sort of jumps that hurdle, if you like. Just as a little bit sort of more, obviously the CV that you've given is very, very comprehensive. Who's the man behind the CV? What do you do, if it's not such a strange question, what do you do at the weekend? You know, basically, who are you, for want of a better word, I suppose?
Oh, I have a family, enjoy cooking, gardening.
Okay.
I enjoy working on cars, vintage cars. I used to race cars, and time to time in England, race vintage cars. I don't do any of that now.
Okay. And at the moment you live in the South Hams, or indeed in the Torbay, Devon area. Obviously this role is a long way from the Torbay, Devon area. Their offices are located in other parts of the country, so it would be potentially a relocation issue. Is that an issue to yourself, or is that something you can overcome quite easily? Or?
I've moved here from Maidenhead.
Right.
I've lived in London, Scotland, there's a few other places in Europe I've lived, obviously Canada and US. Living and moving is not a problem.
Okay, good. And availability to take up the role should it be offered and so on, is that more or less straight away, would you say?
Straight away, yes.
Straight away. Okay, that's good. I'll just have another bit of a run through the CV. So the last place, tell me a little bit about the role in Torquay, where was it?
New Voice Media.
New Voice Media, yeah. Just tell me a little bit about that.
They're a call center technology company.
Okay.
And they have a host of servers that have XML call center technology on them.
Okay.
And customer would have like you have an 0870 number. Would go into the underlying telco, and it would route the call through us, where we would play messages, record data. Specifically, data would be like for a customer for Parcel Force, where we would write bespoke application to collect credit card information so they can pay the custom charges the customer will receive on a package. We would go into pay verification, credit card pay verification system, and verify, and then we would get payment for that package. And we would write many applications similar to that for call center technology customers.
Okay, okay. Well, I think that's as much as I need to ascertain, and it's been a good interview. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll send this over. So 3, 2, 1, stopping recording.